Hello, welcome to the Studio Armor Review. No, this is not a rerun. Yes, you have seen this model before. But today we're going to talk about, again, the Dragon King. Daeron the Dragon King. Now, this is actually part of the Tyranid Codex version, so my Dragon Masters. And this is actually where the model ended up. Now, I initially started building him when I had thought about using the Avatar of Khaine. And then, as I was working on the piece, I had not yet assembled the body of the Dragon King yet. I had just finished his Drake that he's riding, but I didn't quite finish building him. So I was very fortunate because at that time I had just found what I thought was the perfect representation of the Dragon King within the Tyranid Codex. And so what I decided to do was to change the way I was going to build Daeron, and it turned out he will represent the Swarm Lord. Now, I looked at the stats, not the stats so much, but though the stats do match up pretty well, as a dragon rider, Dragon King riding a dragon, good monstrous creature. But the idea that he had Synaptic Linchpin as a warlord trait, so he's an 18-inch synapse range. He's a mastery level 3 psyker. Alien Cunning allows me to add 1 to my reserve rolls, which is fantastic. I love that. And the idea is, as a swarm leader, that special rule allows him to give a unit within 18 inches either Furious Charge, Monster Hunter, or Preferred Enemy. That's pretty powerful. I mean, from a narrative perspective. It's the king with his tactical genius who is elevated through society and voted into office to lead and protect the Exodites of Lorien. Here he is leading out and providing his guidance to the units nearby to give them these special rules. It just worked perfectly. And being an old saber fencer, the fact that this one has bone sabers just was a perfect match. I loved it. And so I just had to figure a way to come up with a new weapon. So essentially they are power sabers. They have the blade parry and instant death special rule. So he has a 4-up invuln. Whereas the Avatar of Khaine has a 5-up. He has a 4-up invuln in close combat. I think that's pretty good. Of course, he has 3-up armor. And this is actually, I built the model to reflect the fact that he himself has no shooting ability, and that his beast that he's riding, the Ebony Drake, also has no ranged attacks. It's only close combat. I'll talk in the next video about other drakes and some of the way they have ranged abilities, but the Ebony Drake does not. And it's a very, very rare beast, yet he is, the Dragon King, has been able to, what I'll call, tame one as his own dragon mount. And of course that just reinforces his position of authority within Lorien, and he makes him unique amongst all of the Exodites. So I'm going to read a little bit of kind of my concept of him to you. Okay, Daeron is the current Dragon King of Lorien. His path from a lesser noble youth to a king is an exceedingly complex weave of the skeins of fate. Born into a lesser noble house that had once been very influential in the past, Daeron's life began with very little to mark him out as special. At a very early age, he just demonstrated interest in music and love of nature. He learned to use the wraith bow, play flutes of various types, and tend to various beasts of Lorien. He also manifested psychic abilities early and began on the path of the witch. When he was old enough to study the martial arts, he left the path of the witch. As a young warrior, his curiosity seemed to get in the way of his mastery of any skill he happened to be learning at the time. As he began to understand the skill or art that he was being taught, his mind would be distracted by thoughts of what else he could learn. After a time, he would leave his teacher and find a new one who would teach him what his heart was now chasing. He learned to raise and ride dragons, wield several weapons, including a dragon lance, dragon saber, and wraith bow. However, it wasn't long before no one would take him as a student, for his reputation was established as a flighty youngster who did not take any discipline seriously. Unfortunately, nothing could have been further from the truth, for he did take his learning seriously. The problem was that he wanted to learn it all, for he saw that by broadening his knowledge, he would be a more creative and hopefully wise leader. This was not something most Exodites, nor in fact any craft world Eldar, understood, for they saw dedication to and mastery of their chosen calling to be the appropriate path. As he grew, he began to manifest abilities to control the native beasts of Lorien. As none of the knightly orders would accept him, he eagerly joined the Dragon Knights and began to study warfare and strategy. His time as a Dragon Knight provided many opportunities to learn strategy and tactics, and he began to develop a favorite approach to battle that relied on precise timing of reinforcements and outflanking. His interaction with the House and independent clans showed him that each clan was unique but part of the Exodite whole, and he learned to respect their ways and became a competent diplomat. Daeron made it a habit to spend time out patrolling alone, as it gave him time to think without distraction. One day he came across a rare ebony great worm prowling in the thick forest. Remarkably, he was immediately able to calm it and command it to carry him. His passion for protecting Lorien causes him to live an almost dual life as king. The warrior king side causes him to lead most battles alongside his dragon knights and his dragon war host. The Eldar King's side causes him at times to lead not only his dragon host, but elements of every part of Exite society. In that role, he's forced to wear many artifacts and symbolic imagery that serve both to enhance his combat abilities, but also inspire his people against the enemy. I came up with this character as a concept, give him a backstory, because he is a unique character within the Codex, the Exodite Codex. I wanted to flesh him out. So I haven't gone into a lot more detail than that, but that's who he is. And it was an opportunity for me to take a model that I was in the process of building and find an even better match for him. So I'm still looking for that Avatar of Lilith, but I've got this Dragon King that will sit perfectly in the Tyranid Codex under the Swarm Lord entry. So I hope that kind of gives you some a different perspective that you can see as we look to the different units. Hopefully you'll see some different ways of looking at some of the units you may see in other codices, and maybe units you'd like to use but you don't want to get into that faction. It might be a way to start thinking outside the box and look at ways you can interpret that other codex's unit as a unit within your own codex, or an ally. Maybe it's an alien race that you want to bring into your army, but there is no alien race in GW's IP that represents it. So this could be a way to do it. So just kind of walking you through my approach, and I hope you enjoyed this. Share, like, and subscribe. Let me know what you think below in the comments, and we'll see you on the next Studio Armor review. Thanks for watching. Bye.